Hi, I'm here today with Francesca Valle. Fran, want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
The
hardest question.
I'm old now. I used to not be as old. I'm 34. I used to be a touring musician. I'm still a little bit of a touring musician, but largely I do coaching these days and production, so I'm a behind-the-scenes artist for the most part.
Now I want to tell us a little bit about your educational background.
Yes, so I have been a musician since I was 4 years old. I started playing guitar, and I played classical guitar forever, and started playing electric guitar. And when I was in high school, I took lessons with a teacher that insisted that she could teach me to sing opera, and I was intrigued, so I was in an opera when I was 16 randomly, and they recruited me, the school that she was going to, so I went to school at Cal State LA for college, and I went there largely because it was almost free, and I loved it. It was a tiny little school. I got to be in all the operas, I got to be in all the little ensembles, and I wound up getting my degree in classical voice instead of like a commercial degree, and I'm super thankful for that because it lets me work kind of in every facet of music.
Why does being a music teacher appeal to you as a career?
I think I'm just a natural teacher. I don't know that it's necessarily about it was something that was appealing to me. I'm a musician and I'm a teacher sort of by nature. And so I make music, and in the process I teach, and I wound up having a really solid knack for it, and I love kids and I'm good with kids, and so I do some of that. And I coach adults in vocal recordings, and it's basically the same exact thing, just at a higher level. So I really got into it because I was good at it, and it was sort of a natural fit for me. I didn't really carve out that path. I think my mother carved it out. She was like, this is what you're good at, do it. This is what you're good at, do it. And every time I wanted to play volleyball, she said, but you're a musician. So that's what happened. If you're talking about teaching like kids, teaching kids is really about sort of instilling the obsession with music. I leave the drilling and the editing of the musician to the band teachers in high schools. I'm a private teacher, so largely what we get to do is creative work. I don't have to beat you up and make sure your rhythms are exactly right. I get to teach you how to create interesting rhythms and how to do fun things and play with them. So I have to teach students to try things in every different way and be inspired to try things they've never tried before through the process of stealing every idea they've ever seen and letting it influence them. I could teach more, but I don't want to. I use my time doing production and working on original music, so I don't have to work more. Some people's answer is to make more money and work more. My answer is the more money I make, the less I work, because I don't have to work as much.
Work smarter, not harder.
Right? Does that make sense?
Describe a typical work day.
Oh, that's the best part about my job. I have ADHD to the core, and I don't have a typical work day. If I had a typical work day, I would probably either get fired, quit, or take my own life, because I'm not disciplined like that. My work day it bounces all over. So the only thing that is typical is that it's atypical. I have students that are trans students that are practicing their voices being transitioned from male to female. I have students that are 5 years old that come in and are still learning their scales. I have students that are 80 years old and retired, and this is their on their bucket list, and I have to teach them all of this before they die. That's talk about a lot of pressure. I have teenagers that come in here, and I have a really limited amount of time because some of them want to be rock stars, and it's like you got 3 years to do it before your expiration date comes up. Some people are here for songwriting. Some people are in here because they're in college and they're studying classical music, and they are taking opera lessons and working on that. I have clients, I'll go into studios and I coach through recording sessions, and that's teaching in a studio. So that's a different environment. I really just don't have a typical day. It's all over the place, and lessons are all kinds of lengths, and my clients are all kinds of clients. Some of my clients are creative musician people, which is great. Those are awesome. Those are super fun to work with, and a bulk of what I do. But I have a lot of students that are like doctors, and my students that are doctors are kind of cool because they're just doing it for passion. They can afford anything that they want. They'll buy all the time that they want, and they are just really trying to hang out and have high-level music lessons. And you'll have a doctor bring you in, or a lawyer bring you in for 3 hours, and you just kind of hang out and jam with them. That's what they want. So there's no typical day.
Benefits and rewards.
Benefits of the job. Okay, pros versus cons.
Yeah,
okay.
Pros and cons.
Okay, so the whole job is a benefit. The benefit is that my obsession and passion it's like almost impossible to take them apart. Once in a while I'll be in a lesson and I'll go, ugh, I hate teaching drums, which I don't.
What I make
just
you do.
I only hate teaching drums when I have to teach drums every day. So I don't have to do that. So I never hate my job. I only hate my job when I'm working with people I don't like. And you've seen my studio rules. I have 2 studio rules, and the first rule is only work with people you love, and the second rule is only work with music you love. And when I made those 2 rules, and I started following them, there's really nothing about my job that I dislike. The second I'm uncomfortable with something, I change it. And I don't approach it with anger. I always approach it in a loving way. Even this kind of client, everyone recognizes that it's got to be a good match. So if the energy of the client is wrong, I will thin them out of my herd, and I will just say, look, I want you to be happy and I want you to have a great experience. Can I refer you to someone that is more, usually it's because they're looking, if it happens, for someone that's kind of rigid, and I'm not rigid in any way. So I don't know that that's a con. It's just sometimes it doesn't work out, and it always works out well in a different way, and we end up being friends or something. There is this element of I'm always working. I'm never working. So the trade-off is I'm always working. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I'm at the beach, sending text messages, and I try to be really good about it, but I'm sure people recognize that I'm always working. To some degree, though, that's a benefit because people leave me alone. They're like, I know you're busy, but...
Yeah.
So, I don't have a complaint about my job. I would never tell someone don't do this. The cool thing about music and art in general is if you're highly skilled and you're highly talented, you don't necessarily need a certificate of any sort to get you a gig. That said, most individuals are not highly creative go-getters on their own without some push. There are people that are like that, but most of us aren't. I'm not. I needed to go to school so that I could learn some discipline. I paid thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars basically to sit down and practice my scales. But if you just sat down and practiced your scales and you got really, really good at the things we know we need to get good at, you could save yourself all of that money and get the same job. You could be highly competitive and compete against me and people with fancier degrees. It's really about the time that you put into it. The unfortunate truth is, though, people like me, and I think that's most people, if someone doesn't tell you you have a test and you're going to fail it, and then everyone sees you fail the test and have to drop out of the program, we don't have enough work ethic to do it. So we sort of pay for college for the same reason that people pay for Weight Watchers. It's just accountability meetings. But you can't, it is possible to do this without a formal education, especially in modern times where the internet is your friend. You do go also to college for a network. But that's not to say you can't hire out a network either. Money talks. So really depends on how you want to spend your money.
I don't know what I want to do. I know that I want to do something that I love to do, though. So do you just want to speak on that?
Don't think you should ever waste your time not doing things that you love. I really, truly, truly believe that. And that's not some kind of like hippie, be irresponsible kind of thing. I think there are people that make compromises to make certain things work. But I think one of the things that makes musicians versus waiters is their ability to not compromise, right? You're saying, no, the reality is I've never waited a table and I will never wait a table. And I don't judge anyone that does wait a table. But if you wait tables, you can't be surprised that you wait tables. Mm-hmm. Right? You know what I mean? There's an element of I've just never compromised that. I have had jobby jobs, but once I quit my last jobby job, or worky job, one of those ones where you've got a boss and you're not doing what you love, the the last one that I quit was like 10 years ago. And I just vowed that I would never do anything I didn't love to do anymore. And that doesn't mean that I couldn't be a barista and love it. I've not had to do that, but I would never compromise my work for a paycheck. I just wouldn't do it. I have to, whatever gets my work, whatever gets my attention, because I only get to live once. I'm not going to spend my time doing something I hate for people that I hate. I just will not do it. So I think the ability to not compromise and not compromise yourself in the things that you are, you find purpose in. Eleanor Roosevelt said that she was once introduced as one of the most passionate people in the political world, and she corrected the person that introduced her, and she said, "Passion, what a waste of energy." Passion without purpose is nothing. So I think we make a mistake. We think, I used to be that person too, that passion is this great thing, and there is a degree of it that's wonderful, but passion without purpose is useless. So I think the goal is find your purpose, and my purpose is not music. Music is my vessel. My purpose is to help and to love and to be kind, and my music allows me to help and love and be kind. So when I have someone like you in front of me, my goal isn't to teach you music. My goal is to have the skills that I have and to help you and love you and be kind to you in every way that I can.
Well,
I'm sitting here going, am I rambling?
No. Always very articulate when you go off on a tangent.
On my tangents.
At least it's
like
articulate.
streams of thought.
No, I love it. Well, thank you for talking to me today.
Yay.
This was very helpful.